Okay, we're going to continue this section. Let's look at this problem. A division problem, if you'll recall from arithmetic, turns into multiplication. So we have 18x to the 7th, we have 2y to the 8th, multiplied by the reciprocal of this, which would be 6y squared divided by 81x cubed. Now, what I'd like to do here is this. Let's first determine where the variables are going to end up. I have x to the 7th on the top, x to the 3rd on the bottom. Remember, when you're dividing, exponents get subtracted. So 7 minus 3 would give me a positive 4, which tells me that x to the 4th would go in the numerator. So virtually these x's are gone, becoming x to the 4th. Y to the 2nd divided by y to the 8th. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. But you need to remember, if I have y to the negative 6th power, where will it end up? And hopefully your answer is in the denominator, because negative exponents take reciprocals. Watch me do that again. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Y to the negative 6th ends up on the bottom as y to the 6th. So at this point you can ignore the variables and just focus on the numbers, okay? Because we've taken care, I'm going to cross these out, we've taken care of all the variables. Now let's look at the numbers and watch me do this. 2 goes into 18 9 times. 9 goes into 81 9 times. And notice we have a 6 on the top and a 9 on the bottom. Well, what would 6/9 reduce to? Just go back to arithmetic, okay? What would 6/9 reduce to? 6/9 would become 2/3. So that tells me that I have a 2 in the numerator and a 3 in the denominator as far as numbers go. So my answer to this problem would be 2x to the 4th on the top divided by 3y to the 6th in the denominator. Okay, next problem. It's a division problem. I take a division problem and I turn it into a multiplication problem. I leave the first fraction just the way it is. I make division into multiplication, but I take the reciprocal of this. So b would end up on the top, 3 minus b in the denominator. Now, how do I work a multiplication problem? Well, I factor and cancel. B squared minus 9 is the difference of two squares. So that factors as b plus 3 times b minus 3. B plus 5 is just 1 times itself. The b is a b. And 3 minus b, let's go down here for a minute. 3 minus b is really the same as the opposite of b plus 3, correct? We just changed the order. Well, if I'm factoring this expression, I start by taking out a negative, and in this case it would be a negative 1. And in parens that would leave me with b minus 3. Negative 1 times b is the opposite of b. Negative 1 times a negative 3 is a positive 3. So this is how the denominator factors. So we come up here and we put in a negative 1 times b minus 3. We factored it. And now we cancel what we can. The b minus 3's cancel, and that's all that we can cancel. There's no other canceling. So watch how I'm going to get my answer. In the numerator, I have a b and a b plus 3. In the denominator, I have a b plus 5, which I really don't need to put parens around, because here's what I'm going to do. This negative 1 is going to come out in front of the whole problem as the opposite of, because remember, you're not supposed to leave negative numbers in a denominator. So we're just going to make the answer the opposite of this. And that is my final and correct answer.